Boris Johnson has a deadline looming. He has until the end of this week to return his infamous questionnaire outlining his reasonable excuse for attending parties that took place in Downing Street behind me in breach of COVID rules. Now, a number of possible excuses have been floated by allies of the Prime Minister in the last few days, but the most recent one being floated is the PM's private lawyers believe he could avoid a fine if he claims he only attended the gatherings for a short time before leaving and going back to work. The argument is that he may have perhaps attended the events early and for a short period, believing they were work events, before later they turned into raucous parties or whatever happened. The argument is that perhaps he turned up, had a beer, and if you then went back to work, he's fine, but if he went for a nap, he's not. This is an argument that's been briefed out to a number of journalists and has raised a few eyebrows. So we did what the Prime Minister has had to do in recent days, and we called the lawyer. My colleague Dan Bloom spoke to a fellow called Adam Wagner, who is a distinguished human rights lawyer. He spent quite a lot of the last 2 years looking into and analysing the raft of COVID laws that were brought in to deal with the pandemic. He is an expert. And he says the argument about whether the PM went back to work after the parties is, in his words, irrelevant. There is no technical defence of I went back to work. There is no technical defence of I didn't get drunk, he told us. He also compared it to Bill Clinton's infamous excuse of I smoked marijuana, but I didn't inhale. But among all the briefing about the outlandish excuses the PM was going to come up with to get him off the hook for a £100 fine, it's possible Boris Johnson's missing something. If the Prime Minister avoids a fine on a technicality for something that ordinary people up and down the country were fined for, people who don't have access to expensive lawyers like the Prime Minister does, and if his staff, perhaps even his wife, we don't know yet, do get fined for attending the same events on the same day, is that actually a win for Boris Johnson? Sources are telling me in the last couple of days that avoiding a fine might actually be even worse for Boris Johnson in the long run, because it'll look like a whitewash. It'll look to the public, might even look to the public like a cover-up. So the question is, can the most powerful man in the country get away with using convoluted legal wrangling and carefully chosen words to get away with something and keep his long-term reputation, his political influence, and his popularity with the public intact? That's a question you should probably ask Bill Clinton.